and crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two Dum Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two Dum Yinzers,
Boom, 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 boom.
heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 769 of the Two Dum Yinzers. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Good morning. Great to see everybody. Mike, you're looking especially macho this morning. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing great, brother. I'm doing great. Grew out the skullet. Got the old Ray-Bans on. I'm ready to go.
Look at you. How about you, Finch? How you doing, man?
I'm doing swell, feeling good. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. You look good. You got your Steeler, your Yinzer hat on.
Yeah.
Looking sharp, man. Haven't seen you in a while. I know that you had vacation as well over the past couple of weeks. None of us really got to communicate with one another. Great to see everybody back. Great to see everybody back. Great to see everybody back. Before we do get this show rolling, I have a major question. It seems like a simple question, but you know what? Now I got all my peeps, man. I'm with all my peeps. I'm with all my niggas, if you will. Guys, let me ask you this. Come on, you guys are my niggas.
I would have
right?
expected that from Larry, but
Larry?
Yeah, that guy, Larry. That's
Larry.
That's his alter ego up there.
Well, you know what? You guys are my niggas. If you don't like it, F you. Good morning. My question is this, guys. I do have a big question. It seems like a very simple question, but I think that you're going to find its complexity very interesting. What is the etiquette for that one pepper that you get in a box of pizza from Papa John's? Let me say you and 4 buddies get yourself a pizza from Papa John's. You can all figure out, get a slice, and maybe somebody gets an extra one. What's the etiquette for that one pepper? I mean, it's not a big pepper. The pepper doesn't have much juice in it. So let's just say Finch wants to squeeze the juices in the pepper on his pizza and decides to give it to Mike. Who wants a finger-fucked pepper to put on their pizza after somebody else just squeezed all the juice out of it? If anybody could tell me, anybody, what the etiquette for a Papa John's pizza pepper is, I'll be forever grateful. I to this day I can't figure it out. You can't possibly share that pepper. It's a small pepper.
No.
And they put one pepper in every single box. Does anybody have any kind of explanation? Finch, these are smart guys. This is why I come to you. I wouldn't ask this to anybody else.
Plus, we look like the kind of guys who've ordered a lot of pizza in the past as well. Yeah.
That's kind of profiling there, but he's not wrong.
I'm not wrong.
So, and Derpy, welcome Derpy back. Welcome back, Derpy. Great to see you. I have a question out here. And again, Corey on the board, anybody. Good morning, Corey. My question is this. What's the etiquette for that one pepper that comes in the box of Papa John pizza, guys. You can't split the pepper. And if you do, as I said, you can squeeze the pepper, but nobody wants a finger fucked pepper after that to put on their pizza. You cut it in little. I've never seen anybody successfully pull this off. You know what I mean? I'm never anywhere where I see somebody say, oh, hey, I put a little bit of, squeezed a little bit of this juice on. Do you want the rest? Anybody. If anybody, millions of these pizzas must be sold. I've eaten plenty myself. If anybody could get that answer to me, what is the etiquette for the pepper in the box of Papa John's pizzas? I will be forever grateful.
Now, if it's a group of people and like one person bought for the group, say, hey, I'm buying, that person has first dibs.
Yep.
Okay.
For sure.
If they say no, all right, then you just go down the line of who you like the best. So naturally, I would go to Finch first, and then I'd go to Ryan, then I'd go to Derpy. Who wants to, you know, that's how the order would go.
I'd stick it in my ass first, and then I'd give it to you. So there.
Well, what do you think we did all vacation long?
Oh, I don't know.
Like,
I don't know what the hell you and your boyfriends did all vacation.
Hey now. No. I like for me, it's like whoever pays for it goes. Like,
all right. Now,
like I don't like that pepper. I like peppers. If I want peppers on my pizza, I'll get peppers on my pizza. So I'm already out on that thing. So at that point, I'm golden.
It's just odd, and not everybody likes peppers, but they throw a pepper into every pizza. I mean, throw a $5 bill in it. That would be worth it for me. What Corey says on the board, he says, I give it to my wife because I take the garlic sauce, which I totally understand. I would give up the pepper to have the garlic sauce. But again, just the one pepper in every box of Papa John pizzas, it's a head scratcher. I honestly, again,
from experience, I can tell you can always ask for more. They charge like $1 per or whatever.
So you get a free pepper in every box, and now a whole $1.
I know, right? But they will throw more in there. A friend of mine worked at Papa John's for years, and anytime he would hook me up with pizza, he would give me like a handful of those things.
And if they charge you for the peppers,
well, he would type it in and charge me for one pepper, but he would give me a handful of peppers.
Before I do move on, I think I know your friend. I think
you do. I
think I've had some of his peppers before.
You have definitely eaten his peppers before, yes.
And then also, real quick, one other thing. And if anybody does come up with a good answer throughout the course of the show, don't mind, don't hesitate to cut me off and tell me, because again, this is very important to me, and I feel the need that I have to know the answer to this, guys, because again.
Also, if you're in a group, most of the time, everybody's going to pitch in and buy multiple pizzas. So if there's like 3 guys and you order like 3 medium pizzas or whatever, there will be 3 peppers.
What if there's 10 guys and you order 3 medium pizzas? Then it's kind of more of a conundrum, because now
we have. First of all, why are you ordering 3 medium pizzas for 10 guys?
Because we ordered a dime sack with 15 of us as a kid because you just didn't have enough money.
That's true.
For the same reason. Mike, and don't get me started on you. I got to get started on Mike before we do roll. Yesterday, I did make the comment on Mike's vacation. He does a lot of drinking.
A lot of drinking, boys.
A lot of drinking. And people think that, this is a funny thing. People say he drinks. No, I have proof. So what I have here from just the studio alone, I'm going to show you what I can what I can provide as far as proof, as far as how Mike drinks. Okay. So here's one. Now, mind you, this is the size of my head. Okay.
It's 1.75 liters.
Okay, hold on, Mike. You just calm down over there. 2.
Oh my goodness.
3. Hold on, Mike. 4.
Oh my goodness.
Why do you not have a sponsorship, Mike?
You're right. Of course, that's why I'm not showing the label.
Get us a sponsorship.
Like, I'm trying to figure out how he's trying to shame me, boys.
So there's 5. Different kind here. 6.
Absolutely.
Pinnacle.
7. Another one. Another head size. Number 7. Oh my God! Another head. Look at this. 8. This is just it's a studio, mind you.
This was in 1 week.
I think so. And 9. These are the big ones. This isn't even
freaking boss.
Have you seen anything?
That's like a half gallon. That is a half gallon of whatever the hell it is. That's unbelievable, Mike.
And people think I'm messing around when I say he drinks. Oh, look at that skullet. That's why his skullet grew so fast.
I was
because
just gonna say the alcohol really got the hair growing.
10.
There's another one.
10.
About 3/4 of a bottle
Another
gone.
one
there.
right here, boys.
And these
11.
are just, believe me, Derpy, these are just a fraction of what he has. I'm not shitting you. We could produce more of these if given the time. But that right here
Like he said, he's trying
is
to
what
get me a
goes on
hard
at the
time.
studio when we're not
I'm
on
trying to
the
figure
air.
out when the hard time's coming through.
I'm a little worried about you, buddy.
Right? That's exactly what I said yesterday. I said, Mike, I'm concerned about you. We're going to take care of this. We're going to get you all. This is what I'm talking about. People thought I was just messing around. Yeah, he has a couple of drinks every now and then.
Hey,
A couple of drinks.
I had a couple drinks. Man. I
Couple
had a great week.
big-ass
I had a
bottles.
great
A
vacation.
couple
boys.
gallons of booze yesterday.
Look at this. It's the size of my head. Believe me, there's not a lot in here, but there's a lot in here.
Well, on the big ones, I have a helper with the big ones.
All right, yeah, I'll give him that. He has a helper, but she is about 100 pounds, so I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, she's
Um,
drinking like one shot per bottle that Mike puts down.
yeah, so there you go.
You guys wanted the skullet. I gave you the skullet.
You gave us a
Don't
skullet. You're right.
criticize the process.
I thought you'd
of
come on
getting
today with
the
no
skullet.
skullet and be all you know what, Mike? The board talks and you listen. I do give you that. You don't listen to a word we say, but
I
the
found
board
my
talks, you
sunglasses.
listen.
I've embraced the gimmick, boys.
Looking good, man.
You
Derpy, my
know.
friend, how are you, sir? I see you busy. You got your Superman movies, all this stuff going on over on your page. Always glad to see you stop by, Derpy. How are things going for you today, sir?
I'm doing great. I went on vacation recently. That went well.
Now you go what? You go down to Florida?
Yeah, I went down to Florida, visit my aunt and uncle.
Okay.
Went to Topgolf for the first time. That was fun. I don't know if anyone's been to Topgolf before, but
Yeah, it's a good time.
yeah, it was a really good time, Finch. I had this banging burrito. It was awesome.
Mm.
It was really good. It was a breakfast burrito. It was really good.
Oh, it is Tuesday, Mike.
Oh, we have a guest appearance.
I know last Tuesday, Mike did. He right here at the studio. He went in the kitchen after show and made up a bunch of tacos. I said, you know what? There's nothing better than Taco Tuesday. Having tacos actually on a Tuesday, and it was good. So hopefully, maybe Mike can whip something up today. But I'm not going to count on it. He's probably already started his drinking. But we will see, guys. Welcome back, everybody. Episode 769. Let's get into it. Good morning to Kenneth on the board. My man, Kenneth says the pepper is just a signature stamp. I get that. All right.
I get that.
That is actually one of the most logical things that I've heard. Why can't it be something good, though? Like that. Don't get me wrong. I love peppers.
Yeah, those pepperoncinis are delicious, man.
But why wouldn't their signature stamp? And I'm not disagreeing with Kenny. I think that you're absolutely right. But why wouldn't the signature thing be something that everyone enjoys? Like everybody, like an old woman probably doesn't want a.
Oh, you mean like garlic sauce?
Yeah,
Because that's in every box too.
All right, point taken, Finch. This is why I come to you. This is why I come to you.
In the matters of being fat and enjoying pizza, this is something I am a professional with. Yes.
You know what? I totally.
I think we all have.
That's
quite
the answer.
experience, yeah.
You and Kenneth just you knocked it out. Thank you, guys. Good morning, everybody. Also, good morning to Corey. Corey says Hollywood broke Hogan in Friends podcast. I like it. He says, "What's up, fellas? Good. Everything's good, man. How you doing today, Corey? Always great seeing you on the board, my friend." I'm gonna hop up to. Corey says, "Mike, you gotta have a cage match for it." We got to get something. They're even having cage matches on the White House front lawn. We got to get into this.
Oh, Ryan.
We got to get into this in the ring business, and I have big plans for that. Don't you worry, Derpy. We're gonna be rolling out some big fun this summer. Yeah, go ahead, Derpy. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna tell you, I'm gonna be going to camp again for the Steelers.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm August 2nd.
So Derpy's back to camp, everybody. If you have any questions for him before he goes or when he comes back, we will have Derpy on site where he did, in fact, touch Jalen Warren's hand just 2 years ago.
Yes,
Derpy is
I
heading
remember
back August 2nd. So keep this in mind. Derpy, we'll make sure we have you on right before and right after. We got to have all the details of everything that goes on to camp, guys, which starts 2 weeks.
Got to record yourself, Derpy.
My guess is it's going to be twice as much as last year.
Get us some
With
video.
all the moves we made.
Yeah, a lot of new guys. And as a matter of fact, Derpy, it's a great segue because we are going to hit that today. We're going to talk about the difference between the starters from last year's team and the difference from this year's team. We're going to get it all that just here soon. Good morning to Mark Malone. Mark Malone, Mike is honing that look now. He sure is. Now he's getting confident. And
I
a
got
bit
the look.
cocky.
I have a different vibe now, man.
He's looking like a badass.
He is. He's like he's like a badass. Look at you. He was the guy that hurt himself going reverse in his car. Now look at him.
Now look at me. You know, I'm like on that first episode of WKPR. The guy put the sunglasses on. All of a sudden, he became the cool guy. That's what I'm like. Right now.
KRP. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, you're just like
Cincinnati.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna start
Yeah.
throwing
You are
some fucking
like-
turkeys out the window right now because God's my witness, boys. I thought they could fly.
Who called
Exactly.
Who called you Bulk Hogan yesterday?
It was, Steel.
That's great.
Steel was
9
like,
o'clock
Hulk
last night. I'm
Hogan.
still laughing about that.
I was gonna go with
This
Cuck
morning, I
Hogan,
was
but
getting
Hulk
ready-
Hogan is good.
I was getting ready for work, and I'm like, oh my God. I just kept popping in my head. Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan.
Well,
That's great.
welcome everybody. Welcome my man RB's on the board. Always great seeing RB. Mark Malone says gonna grill some carne asada later with jalapeno, onion, red bell pepper.
What kind of grill you got, Mark?
Sounds really good.
Throw that in the chat. I want to talk some grilled talk. Let's talk grilled talk.
RB, my man. He says I'm going to camp last week of July for 2 days. Not sure which days. This is the most excited I've been in for a season in 8 years. If anything, it won't be boring. Absolutely not. And Mark follows it up by saying needs a PBR in his hand, Mike.
The
There you
PBR
go.
is disgusting. It tastes like aluminum water.
This is what you could catch Mike at any given time holding in his hand. It's literally as big as my head. Any given time. And if you missed the beginning, I could do it again. There's about 11 bottles that passed across my desk here.
You need to get a little shelf and just line them up right
I
behind
know.
you, Ryan, where we can see them all.
Like when you're in prison and you mark off the days on the wall.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll be marking off, every 4-day period, another one of these bottles gone.
We don't have enough space, Vince.
4 days.
RB
Some
says
credit,
every
3.
year for 8 years it's been the same BS. Something needed to change for good or bad, or at least this is changed. I slowly am seeing Tallman's fingerprints off the roster and more of Weedle's showing up. Finch, I'm sorry, Derpy, you may run into RB. RB is going up at the end of the month. You're going up at the very beginning of the month. Maybe, just maybe, and might cross
Maybe.
paths. I don't know. But Derpy, RB will be up there. You know what? To me, even though it does feel like Tomlin's fingerprints are off it, I'm finally glad that you could start to call this Tomlin's team. This is something that you're always going to get an argument out of. Everybody, a lot of people are going to always say this is Tomlin's team. This was Cowers players. These are I want to see Tomlin now with a good team. Let's see make a run at it, and then we could say, you know what, if he wins, that was Tomlin's team. But again, at the end of the day, these are all brand new players. These are all good players.
Technically, you could say this is Khan's team instead of Colbert's team.
No, I mean you could do that too if you're talking GMs. But it's all left to be determined, guys. We will see. Is this team they're gonna be able to pull it together? We're gonna go over all the starters from last year, how they changed to this year. Guys, about half of the team that started last year is gone.
That's wild.
It really is. We're gonna get into that in just a moment here. We're
Like a
gonna talk
college
about
season when all the seniors leave. You know,
it's like a college, right?
Yeah, what it feels like.
RB says I got some honey watermelon brandy in my hand. I made 5 gallons last week. Sounds like
Ooh.
Mike just made a new. Did we just become best friends? Mike
We just
says.
become best friends.
Yeah. And also, guys, you could be just like Finch. You could be just like Derpy. Do you have what it takes to become the new Dum Yinzer? That's right. We are holding a new competition. Look at what it done for the fellas right below us on the screen. They spun off. They have their own great shows, which I'm a big fan of, both the Gooners and Derpy show. Guys, do you have what it takes to become the new Dum Yinzer? In this time next week, we're going to be wrapping up the gathering of the names. So if you're interested, do send to our email to twodum.yinzers@gmail.com with your interest to become the new Dum Yinzer. You could be parked right below Mike. It's a lot to carry. Ask Finch. You got to have pretty big shoulders to be beneath Mike on the screen. But
My back
there
hurts.
But there it is. Limited time, a lot of time, all the time you want. We are looking to grow. So by this time next week, I do want to get the competition started. We have a gauntlet we're starting to put together for the people that are going to attempt, the contestants, if you will. So we're going to go next Wednesday, Mike. I think we're going to get the whole thing started. So in the meantime, drop your name in the hat, twodumyinzers@gmail.com. That is our email which is oddly has the word 2 instead of the number 2, like our website, which could get confusing. So every few seconds on the screen, you will see right beneath Mike's face the email address a pop up just in case you forget or need that information. So again, 2 Dum Yinzers, that spells TWO @gmail.com. Send your name. We'll have your contact information because we have the email. We'll get back to you and we will start to assemble the competition, if you will. Again, if you want to be the new Dum Yinzer, enter your name sometime in the next 7 days, and we're gonna have a lot of fun with this, guys. I think it's gonna be a blast. Finch, Derpy, Mike, let's get into some football.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let me grab. Oh, you know what? Tortilla just came. Tortilla just walked in the door. Let me grab him, then we'll get started. I do get a couple messages here. Sorry, guys. All right, Corey Beaver says, okay, well, Cowher went 8-8 in his last season with his team, and Tomlin won a Super Bowl with that team. So that argument is stupid. I guess that is a good argument.
That's a fine argument.
Very fine argument. Followed up by that. Let me cancel something that popped up.
By the way, real quick, Mark, I saw your comment. You got an old Rusty Weber. I know that those burgers are tasting good on that grill, buddy.
I was wondering what that comment was.
That's what it was.
RB says Khan gets too much credit as GM. He's a bean counter. Wild is the real GM. Tortilla, my man. Tomlin definitely listens to his position of coaches and coordinators. Our backup center was our O-line coach idea. Patterson and Pruitt were Smith's guys. It's not all Mike Tomlin. He just has the final say. RB says, damn, I want to be a Dum Yinzer, but I have almost no time with working the second shift, and I have a face for radio and a voice for the deaf.
There you go.
If those are your attributes, you're definitely a contestant.
You just described Derpy.
You're already in the running, believe me, with those attributes.
Hi, Derpy.
And let's see, Tortilla says, you're not wrong, Corey, but didn't Cowher win a Super Bowl the 8-8 year? Correct me if I'm wrong. I support Tomlin still, but he did inherit a great team. He definitely didn't make it worse. It's interesting because he did come right off. Tomlin did inherit a team that just won a Super Bowl just a year or two prior. And, if you want to make the argument that Coach Cowher, the team that he inherited didn't win a Super Bowl for 12 years prior. So, 12 for him taking over, 15 till the next Super Bowl. But anyway, you slice it, guys. Why do this? This is our team.
And how come nobody makes this argument about the Penguins? We won 3 Stanley Cups in the last decade and a half with coaches that replaced a coach midseason the year before.
Well, hockey's different. Let me explain why.
Please.
In my opinion, because every time a new coach comes, the Penguins seem to be successful than they were. Yeah, whenever Michel Therrien left, the next guy came. They won. Michel Therrien was the coach for that loss. Then he left. The next guy came in and he won in 2009. And then he couldn't win after a while. And then you brought in the new guy who won it in 2016. It just always seems like, and back in 91, 92, after Badger Bob died, and they brought back. So every year they bring in a brand new coach. It seems like they win a Stanley Cup. I don't know what that's about, but it certainly doesn't follow the same pattern that the Steelers do. It's just an observation I made every single time. So let's hope maybe next year the Penguins could get it together.
I'm just saying the argument is never consistent across the sports. Right. That's what's funny. Yeah, it's how come nobody says, oh, well, the Penguins won, Bilesma won with Gondry's team or whatever, and it's like, well, it's not a great argument, I don't think.
Good question.
The only thing that matters is I can look at my team and say, oh, they won a championship. I go, fuck, who's the coach?
Yeah, man. Corey says Tortilla, yes, but look how long it took Cowher to win with his players, and Tomlin immediately came in. Yeah, but
nobody points that out for Cowher most of the time.
And finally, RB. I'm sorry, RB. My biggest thought is Tomlin hates putting the ball at risk. Rodgers isn't going to be told to avoid the middle, and Rodgers isn't going to play small ball while down 10 like Tomlin likes to do. So we will see, guys. A lot of debate there. I mean, when you bring those two names up, you're always going to get some kind of debate. Yeah. Of course, our two coaches, which we should all be on the same team and be excited that we won Super Bowls. But guys, let's get into it. We're going to talk today about the Pittsburgh Steelers starters from last season compared to the starters this season. Guys, let's get into it. Last year on opening day, it was supposed to be Russell Wilson, which wasn't the case. It then ended up being Justin Fields because they let Russell Wilson they let Russell Wilson push a sled around in camp for some reason. There's no reason a quarterback should ever be pushing a sled. Matter of fact, I've never seen it in my life. Russell Wilson pulls something while pushing a sled. So Justin Fields becomes the starter.
I'm still mad about it.
position number 1. You like Justin Fields, right, Derpy?
Yep. I'm still mad about it. He was 4-2, and then we just gave up on him. But
that's a good point.
A backup quarterback could have been 6-0, but the starter comes back. Guess who's going back in?
The thing is, the guy really wasn't a backup quarterback. He's never been a backup quarterback until this day. He's not a backup quarterback. He was only a backup quarterback last year. He was the starter for wherever the hell he came from, Chicago. He's a starter in New York. And the only reason he didn't start was because Russell Wilson was a starter, but he was injured. So I mean, technically, him starting 4-2, that's a sign of a decent starter. And we're going to get into that later, actually, too. We're going to talk about those two quarterbacks. So just hang tight on that comment, Mike. So let's start at the number 1 position as quarterback. And guys, our starter last year on day 1 was in fact Justin Fields. The turnovers start already with position number 1. Of course, this year our starter is Aaron Rodgers. Mike, Finch, Derpy. Do you feel we're better, same, or worse off than we were this time last year going into the season with our starting quarterback position?
Better. I like a busted down Aaron Rodgers is still a better quarterback than Justin Fields is right now.
Or Wilson.
Or Wilson, yeah.
Interesting. All right. At this point, I mean, I would say arguably all along, because how many times has Aaron Rodgers won MVPs? So I tend to agree with you guys. Let's move to the next position is running back 1. Running back 1 last year, of course, was Najee Harris. Najee Harris managed to put up 1,000 yards in all 4 of his seasons in the NFL. They send him out west. He is in Los Angeles with Coach Jim Harbaugh, guys. So
he got screwed over too in Los Angeles because they just drafted a running back.
I know.
Yeah, right. First round too.
He's going to be one of them guys that just kind of seems like this kind of shit happens to him. Again, he goes 4 seasons, 1,000 yards rush. He gets moved, and then they bring in a young running back. I don't know what it is about Najee, but guys, let's jump on that.
Got his money.
Last year, Najee Harris was the starter in the backfield. This year, Jaylen Warren moves over to running back 1. Hopefully, he could put some 1,000-yard seasons together, and he's going to be running side by side with rookie Caleb Johnson. Finch, do you think we were better, same, or worse off than we were at this time last year at running back 1?
Right now, I'd say we're worse off because we did have the combination of Jaylen Warren and Najee Harris.
Yeah.
And that makes a difference. Running back 1 is going to do better when you have a good running back 2 behind you. The guys are a great tandem. I'm not saying that Caleb can't be great. He just hasn't proven himself yet, obviously, because he's a rookie. But I do like Warren in the number 1 position. I just don't think he's quite Najee in that position. But I do think he has a very good opportunity to prove me wrong.
I do want for anybody else that does answer, I do want to say Tortilla, who is out in California, north of LA, albeit he's saying Najee should be switched to the outside linebacker position, which at this point he may be. You never know. Mike,
that dude is a beast.
He's a monster. Now, I think like Mark Malone, I think that it's going to be a whole hell of a lot better because like our Barley said, like the run scheme, both running backs fit that scheme better. But going from Najee to Jaylen Warren, just those two, I think it's a push. I think Najee is going to get Jaylen will get you 1,000 yards if he's the every down starter, but I think Caleb Johnson is going to take his place. So right now, for me, it's a push. Just because you don't know what the rookie's going to do, I'm putting it as a push.
Dorothy, what about you? We have one push. We have one doing a little bit not as well as last year. Where do you put the running back 1 position with this year's new starter, Jaylen Warren, who, in fact, you touched his hand at camp a couple years ago, and Caleb Johnson? Are we same, better, or worse than we were last year, Derby?
Worse.
All right.
I'm have to agree with Finch.
Okay. Is it because he has a really nice Yinzer hat on and Mike has a headband and the scar? Okay. Just wanted to make sure. All right. So, guys, that is 2 out of 2. Last year, opening game, 2 starters, quarterback, and it's Najee, you racist, as Mark Malone says. So that is 1 and 2. Number 1 position, number 2 position, brand new starters this year from last year on opening day. Number 3, wide receiver 1. Was George Pickens last year. This year it's DK Metcalf. Derpy, Finch, Mike, are we better off, worse off, or the same as we were last year on opening day at wide receiver 1?
Better.
Push. All right.
That's fair. That's fair.
You know what? I want to hear what Finch has to say. Finch, why? Why is this a push?
I just think that at the end of this season, he's going to have very equal statistics to what George did last year. Outside of the, I think, 4 games that George missed. You know what I mean? The per game stats are going to be pretty similar. I don't see Metcalf being the guy who blows it up all the time. George is a lot younger, had fresher legs, really running around, looking real strong, running great routes. I'm not saying Metcalf can't and doesn't.
And also, Finch, wouldn't you also say this?
I just think he's a little better.
Wouldn't you say this as well? Maybe now with more weapons for the quarterback, you do have a better quarterback to throw to. The number one.
That's a very
receiver.
good point, and I think that has something to do with the push as well. I think if George had Aaron throwing to him consistently all last season, he probably would have had a better season, and maybe this conversation's a little different. Okay. But I like George. I was sad to see him go outside of the mental stuff. But physically, the guy was great. He performed well with the Steelers last year. And, it's hard to see Metcalf doing better than that. Matching it, yes. But keeping it very close, yes. I don't see him just going above and beyond and having 40 touchdowns and some ridiculous number.
Yeah.
Well, like, the thing is, like, Pickens is a much better contested catcher than DK Metcalf. Like, he will, as big as DK is, you will see times like not that he gets alligator arms, that he doesn't fight through the ball the way George would fight through the ball.
Yeah,
so right there, I like his
fantastic.
contested catch percentage is through the roof. He's the best at it, and DK should be up there, but
who loves throwing those kind of balls, and who throws a lot of deep Hail Marys, and who's one of the best to ever do it?
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers. He and George could have made a great combo.
Yeah, he made back-to-back playoff victories on last-minute Hail Marys. So.
All right, guys. So that is 1, 2, and 3. Quarterback 1, running back 1, and wide receiver 1. All 3 replaced from last year's playoff team, guys. We finished 10-7. Now, mind you, we were 10-3 with a month left. We were 1 game out of first place. We were 1 or 2 games behind Kansas City overall for number 1 in the conference.
And then we just collapsed.
And then they lose the 4 straight. Of course, big games, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Kansas City, and whoever the other game was. So, again, these adjustments, these moves, 1, 2, 3 positions we named, brand new players. These are going to be the guys that's going to be able to get us over those 4 games that we're going to need to win. Guys, let's move on. Let's go to wide receiver number 2 guy, counter side, opposite side, George Pickens. Last year's starter was Calvin Austin, the 3rd on opening day. We don't know if Calvin Austin's going to be the number 2 guy on opening day. There's still time. There's still names being thrown around. So we just don't know at this point. We could very well have also a different number 2 wide receiver. Mike, Finch, Derpy, Calvin Austin the 3rd could very well be the number 2 receiver. Does this how much does this play into his deal that he's going to be trying to make on his deal season, Mike? I mean, he's kind of in limbo here.
Yeah, it's contract year for Calvin Austin, and if he can play wide receiver 2, and he's
that's crazy. I think we just dropped him a couple years ago.
No, this is contract year for him, so he's playing for a new one. I think so is Porter as well. So, yeah, this is going to be a huge year for Calvin Austin. I think it's already better than whoever we had last year at number 2. We saw him get better as the year go on with Calvin Austin. Now, can he be that outside guy? I don't know, but I think he can be an effective weapon on this offense, and he's going to put up a whole hell of a lot better numbers than he did last year.
Guys,
receiver 3 to me.
So we don't know yet. We don't know if Calvin Austin is going to be number 2. We got 2 weeks and 2 days till camp starts, and then we have roughly a month, give or take, after that with preseason, all these things. So guys, we'll skip over wide receiver 2. Let's go to wide receiver 3. Last year on the depth chart, Van Jefferson. Basically got swapped out for Woods. So guys, 4 out of the 5 top positions on offense have been a turnover in the past year. We've had turnover in 4 out of 5. Again, Calvin Austin the 3rd being the only one that hasn't been a part of the position turnover. In the meantime, Van Jefferson, Woods, is there any different? Does anybody care, Mike?
No. No. Like at least we're not trying to talk ourselves into Van Jefferson being a guy. We all know Woods is that old man veteran of the group.
Who was the guy that we just had before Jefferson? There was another one.
It was Allen Robinson. He was
Allen Robinson
to be that slot guy. They wanted him to be more than that guy. Like, no.
Why don't we just stop bringing in that particular guy and get somebody good for once? I mean, that Van Jefferson and who did you just say, Mike?
Allen Robinson.
Allen Robinson.
Gabe Davis.
So let's go to the tight ends, guys. One of the only things that stayed consistent as far as skill positions go on this team is the tight end. We added two, of course, with John Smith. We have big Darnell Washington, Mike, but our starter last year was, in fact, Pat Freiermuth. He will be the starter, providing there's no injuries or anything between now and then. On opening day, Pat Freiermuth, guys. We like this, right? We like Pat being here. And, of course, to this point in his career, nobody has had a better career as a tight end, as a Steeler, this far into their career than Pat Freiermuth. I think we're all good with that. So let's move on. Let's get to the offensive line. Good Vegas GG. Awesome to see you. Also, Yinzer Joe. I don't want to miss anybody. We're certainly not missing your messages, guys. I do also want to say hi. What's up to Big John Stud, middle name Mud, also on the board. We'll be with you guys real shortly. I promise you here. Let us get through the offense first. Just keep going. You guys are doing amazing. I'm learning things as I'm going. Believe me. Let's get to the offensive line, everybody. The offensive line. We got through all our skill positions, guys. On the offensive line, we have from last year. We have Frazier at center. So there you go. Yeah. We get our center back. He is our franchise center. No two ways about that. Zach Frazier. Next on the guards, James Daniels. Day one starter last year. Didn't quite work out that way.
He's gone.
Dan Moore, tackle. Day one starter last year. He's gone.
You got their money's worth.
And then also now we got Siamalu and Broderick Jones. So 2 of the 5 opening day starters last year are different. Of course, Frazier will be back. Siamalu will be back. And Broderick Jones will be back. Hopefully he could have himself a breakout season. Yeah. He's due. He's definitely due. But, Mike, we do, in fact, have McCormick and what else am I missing? In our rookie from last year, we have Fatanu coming back.
Yeah, Fatanu
guys,
back.
I miss the veteran part of these guys that we have, that we got rid of. James Daniels, Dan Moore. They weren't the greatest offensive linemen in the world, but they knew they knew their way around the offensive line. Are we better, worse, or the same as we were on opening day last year with what we have? Young McCormick, again, coming back for his sophomore season, trying to get Fatanu back off the injury. Mike, better, worse, same?
I think we're better. You're going to – because James Daniel, he becoming back from an Achilles injury, we saw how long it took for the 2 quarterbacks last year to recover from their injuries, and Kirk Cousins and Aaron Rodgers, and they weren't effective until later in the season. At least for Rodgers. Now, you want to put that onto like a 300-pound interior lineman. I'm more than happy replacing him with McCormick. That was the plan all along. McCormick got, those nice 9-10 games last year to play. I think it might have even been more than that. So I think he's going to take a big jump. So he's an upgrade over there. Dan Moore, Broderick Jones. If Broderick Jones can just be half competent of what we think his potential can be, that's an upgrade over Dan Moore. I was a big Dan Moore guy, but that second half of the season, he became a completely different player. Like he was his first 3 years here. But good for him. He got his money. Frazier, I'm not worried about. Siamalu, I'm not worried about. And I think Fatanu is going to be fine too. So I'm very excited about this O-line this year.
Let me ask you this: do you guys feel any concern about the depth of the offensive line? I mean, these are some names, these veterans that we got rid of. Of course, they had to go. We were building this line from the draft, and we knew what was coming. And when it was times to go, guys were going to go. Do you feel the depth that we lost? Again, Dan Moore, Daniels. Even the her big brother, Nasty Nate. I mean, these are some players that's been in the lineup. They've been on the Steelers. They've been in this offense. Do you feel, and we replaced them, don't get me wrong, we got guys to come in, but do you feel that losing that, just that experience from the Steelers offense, is that going to affect us at all? Or do you think this offensive line is going to just be able to keep chugging along?
I'm comfortable with the interior depth because we saw Spencer Anderson. He played a couple games, did all right. We saw McCollum fill in for Frazier and did really well. It's the tackles with like Dylan Cook, Calvin Anderson. That's where I'm worried about. But finding quality depth at tackle, that's hard. We had a luxury last year of having guys that were like 3 starters at tackle last year, we were lucky. So it's hard to find there, but I'm okay with the depth. I would like a better tackle, but now we're just, wishing too much at that point.
If they stay healthy, I think this is the most talented line we've had in a minute.
Derpy, this is one of the smartest things I've heard in a while. I agree. If the injury bug, we have to at all costs, all means, avoid the injury bug. The injury bug has been killing us the past couple of years, and especially with this offensive line, guys. Last year it took a beating. We have to be the team that could avoid. And you know what? I remember for years we avoided the injury bug, and other teams were dropping like flies. And I remember saying, how are all these guys dropping? How are these teams having these problems? But here we are, guys. We've been killed in this area over the past 3-4 years. Certainly, the injury bug. We got to avoid the injury bug this year. Stupid little injuries, and you never know how. I mean, of course, I'm just saying this. These guys are out there, killing each other. But the little injuries sometimes they're the ones that nag you the worst. I can't remember who it was last year. Somebody was out a month with a hammy. These kinds of things. Over time, a hammy usually got rubbed out on the sideline, and the guy went back in the second half. I'm not downplaying the guy's injury. I'm just saying. Let's move on, guys. That is the offense. Mike, offensive line, do you feel worse, better, or same as last year?
Better.
Finch, offensive line.
If we're comparing the line to the opening day roster of last year, I'm going to say the same, but I think we have a higher ceiling with this current team.
Absolutely.
And once again, health has a lot to do with it. Last year's team did get better once they kind of got healthy. We had a nice little stretch near the end of the season where the O-line played serviceable football. That O-line is better than the current O-line, but the current O-line will be better than that O-line about 6 games into the year once they become cohesive.
Yeah, we're going to get like Fatanu in there playing
Fatanu's
every day and healthy.
Yep.
And Project Jones being...
And Jones, and we talked before about that guy. We're pulling for him. We want to see him do well because he's very talented. He's strong, but his mental game just hasn't been there. And I hope he puts it together this year because he made a lot of bad penalties. He had a tendency to be out of position from time to time, but his talent is great, and hopefully we can get it together. Maybe Aaron Rodgers will help him to develop as well. A good QB will help linemen and teach him where to be, how to do things the right way, and give him a different perspective of football in general. And I think the experience, as you were talking about the experience, it's good to have somebody like Aaron Rodgers who's seen it all, done it all, behind that O-line. He's going to offer a lot to those guys, and we just don't always think of it that way, but it's true. That's where a lot of that experience is going to come.
John says, I just want to jump into the comments real quick. John says, Finch must have brain surgery. He makes sense now. I think it's the thinking hat. He has on his thinking cap.
I got my thinking cap.
All right, guys. So let me just give you a quick run over here real quick. So last year on opening day, the starting quarterback was Justin Fields. Our starting running back 1 was Najee Harris. Wide receiver 1 was George Pickens. All have been replaced so far for this year's starting to kick off opening day. Number 4, the wide receiver number 2, Calvin Austin III last year. We still don't know about him. That's up in the air. We could bring in somebody else, and he could certainly be a number 3 if that does happen. Finally, the tight end, the same. The only position, Mike, because Van Jefferson, wide receiver number 3, he's been replaced with Woods. And again, 2 out of our 5 offensive linemen are brand new, or not brand new, but guys that are going to be starting that weren't there last year on opening day. Fatanu comes back off of that injury, and then also McCormick having the big rookie season, which I think a lot of people was pleasantly surprised.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mike, about 7 of 11 have been replaced for opening day this year. Different offense from last year on opening day. In between, we're going to jump over to the defense here in a second. Any comments on that? Anybody got anything?
If we stay healthy, we can be a dangerous team.
All right, you guys ready to turn over the record, if you will? Let's go to the defense. Last year on opening day, the Pittsburgh Steelers defensive line was Cam Hayward, Benton, and Ogunjobi. Of course, Ogunjobi has been replaced with rookie Derek Harmon, who will be starting this year on opening day. Linebackers. We had one of those replaced as well, guys. Last year when the season opened, we had TJ Watt, we had Patrick Queen, we had Alex Highsmith, and we had Landon Roberts. Landon Roberts is going to be replaced more than likely by Peyton Wilson at this point. And in the secondary, 2 out of 4 2 out of 4 players who was on our opening day, opening kickoff weekend team, starters, if you will, Minka Fitzpatrick, Dante Jackson, Joey Porter Jr., and Deshaun Elliott. Of course, Minka and Dante Jackson. So that's 4 guys out of the 11 on defense. So we replaced 7 starters on offense, 4 starters on defense. That's 11 out of 22. That's half of every starter we had. So we got to 10-3 last year. We couldn't get over the hump. We were a game behind, in a weird way, behind Kansas City, who had the number 1 seed. We replaced 11 of 22. Finch, is this going to get us any closer to getting over that hump that we've ran into for the past couple years, at least down the stretch?
Let me tell you, we're going to learn. We're going to learn because we've been saying for years the Steelers keep miring in mediocrity. We need to blow up the team. We need to replace the whole team. We need to get rid of the coach, even, is something we've all said and heard. This is about as close to blowing up the team as the Steelers have ever gotten.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? This is kind of what we asked for, and it doesn't feel that way. It still feels like it's last year's Steelers, although we have replaced most of our biggest named starters, especially on offense. And of course, Minko on defense is a big one, and Jalen Ramsey, which we'll talk more about Jalen. But it's wild to think that this is kind of a blow up. We kind of blew it up, and I had been saying before all this went down in the last month that the Steelers are probably going to finish 9-8 again next year, but I'm feeling kind of good about it now. I think that we have improved on all phases of the team outside of the coaching. That's pretty much stayed the same. But,
yeah. I'm sorry,
but I'm just saying, I do think that I think that this replacing half the starters once again that's like high school, that's college stuff, and sometimes you see that happen, and a team that was mediocre the previous year goes on and wins their conference. You know what I mean? The Steelers could compete this year now. I don't think they're going to be this big Super Bowl champion, but I think we can compete with the Ravens. I think we have a shot to win the division this year. I think that's a better shot now than we had a month ago because.
And you also got to consider, Finch. We always are. We could always say that we could beat the Ravens because we beat them 8 games in a row when we weren't that good and they had a MVP quarterback. Right. So again, I don't really look at the Ravens as a team to use as a barometer, but
Tomlin does.
You're right.
We use the AFC North as a barometer, and that's how it should be in the sport of football.
But here's the thing. Here's the only problem with that. It's good within the division, but once you get beyond the division, you have to play other good teams. Right. And again, I don't fear Baltimore because we beat them 8 games in a row coming into last season. The teams we have to figure out how to beat are your Buffaloes. Yeah. This is a team that kills us every time we play them. We have to figure out how to beat Kansas City's. Right. We got to figure out how to beat those teams. Yes, you got to be good in your division. You build your team to win in your division, but we have to, if we want to move to the next. I think we could beat Baltimore in the playoffs, especially with this team. Considered that we lost by 2 touchdowns.
We just got to make it past Houston,
right?
Or, one of those.
And that's the thing. I mean, are we happy with beating the Baltimore Ravens in the first round in the game that we lost last year? Are we content with that, or do we want to beat them and hopefully maybe beat Buffalo, Kansas City, whoever? I would love to see this team in the AFC Championship again, guys. This team replacing 11 guys from 22. You tend to think we might have put together a team that could make a run. Let's get back into those replacements, guys, that we were talking about on defense. Minka Fitzpatrick, of course. We don't know what's going to happen at the safety position. A lot of speculation is Jalen Ramsey. He can move over and play safety. We don't know if that's going to be the case yet. They say, he was interested. He wants to extend his career by moving from safety. So, I mean, that's a possibility. Dante Jackson is replaced by Darius Slay, who's 32 years old, I think, something like this, 33 years old. So secondary-wise, it kind of feels like we got better, but did we, Mike?
I think we did. Slay is better, all-around better corner than Dante Jackson, even, at his age.
Dante did a good job last year.
He did a good job, yeah. He had a lot of picks, but he also had some teams started to target him. They knew he was the weak link. He got that lower back injury as the season went on. Teams knew to target him.
And Slay also has injury issues.
Yeah.
I was just reading this morning. It was hard. There was certain times it was hard keeping him on the field with some of the injuries he had. So
Hey, you know what? That's fine. We got Jalen Ramsey. We can slide right over there, and we got Beanie Bishop and Brandon Eccles to fill into that nickel spot.
Right.
And Jalen he can play safety as well. Juan Thornhill.
Not if we're short at cornerback, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Juan Thornhill. We'll get there when we get there.
Juan Thornhill is the question mark for me. Absolutely, Juan Thornhill.
You don't know who you're going to get, which Thornhill you're going to get, the Kansas City Thornhill or the Browns Thornhill.
Right.
Yeah. But
in the middle.
If we get that, that's fine, because last year we didn't get Diddley Poo from Minka.
But his presence is big. You got to admit, his presence is big. Even if he wasn't making the splash plays, you still plan accordingly. You still plan knowing that Minka Fitzpatrick is over the top in the middle of that field, and you play accordingly. Believe me.
It felt like the teams targeted him more. I don't know. I just keep going back to that.
Do you think that changes? Do you think it gets any better with Juan Thornhill, though?
I'd rather have teams target Thornhill and him give up the same amount of stuff that Minka did than pay what Minka did and have him give it up. You know what I mean? At least with Juan Thornhill, I can justify that if it happens.
I want to see Minka make the plays that Minka was able to make early on in his career here. That's the Minka that I wanted to see. If you can't get that, then anything less than it's just going to be short of what Minka was doing. So again, a lot of questions still. Maybe we're going to get somebody a couple weeks here too. We show up at camp. Still some time until preseason. So those two positions, they're glaring at you, Mike. Wide receiver 2 and free safety. No secrets about that. Finch, do you feel that the secondary is any better, worse, or the same than it was last year with these moves that were made? Again, you take a Pro Bowler out, but you put a Pro Bowler in. You're kind of unsure now about the safety position. Again, I don't know if everything is just fixed like that because of the talent we went out and got. Do you feel that we're better, worse, or same?
I think the team overall is a little bit better for it. What are the contract numbers there? Because that is something I kind of missed compared to Minka, because Minka was on a pretty big money contract, was he not?
I feel like they're better too.
I think it is a better deal. And what Ryan said, he nailed it a moment ago when you said that that Minka Fitzpatrick was just lightning in a bottle when he came here. In the last 2 seasons, he's kind of fell off, and he's not giving up huge plays every time he's out there or anything, but he's not making those splash plays that he was making and earned that giant contract that he got.
This is the reason we give TJ Watt. This is the reason we give Minka Fitzpatrick that money that they make, is because
so that they stay consistently good.
Really good.
And he didn't stay consistently really good. Right. And I hate to say that. I really like Minka, and I was sad to see him go.
He's a solid.
He's very solid. But he was making too much money. That's why I say the team is better off, because it's going to free up a couple of bucks compared to what you're getting with Jalen. So the value is better, and the team is going to gel a little bit better because of it too, because you're going to be able to spread that money around a little bit more.
Yeah, he's a 15.5 Minka pronouns, pal. He's making 15.5 this year. Jalen Ramsey, I think after his raise that he got this year, he's around 17, 18. It will be his number, but he's also signed through 2028.
Right. I think the value is going to be better. I think we're going to get more for our money in the next 2 years from Jalen.
Let's drop down to the linebacker position next, guys. Of course, Watt, Queen, Highsmith, and a Landon Roberts, who I like the Landon Roberts a lot. He was a little beast in the middle there. Of course, he moved on. So we have Watt, Queen, Highsmith, and it looks like Wilson is going to be the other inside linebacker. I'd seen on the comments go by, seen Cole Holcomb's name, of course. People were excited about his return. With the change, I personally don't think that we're any better or any worse at the linebacker spot. Maybe having Wilson on the field, extra could give him those opportunities. Remember that amazing interception he made last year? What's the guy? Peyton? What's Wilson's first name?
Peyton Wilson.
Peyton Wilson. Yeah. Remember where he was down the sideline and he was covering a guy and he ended up coming down with the ball?
The Ravens.
I'm really excited about that. But besides for that, I don't see much difference. I expect to see TJ have a great year, especially if he gets his money. He better have himself another 18-plus sack season. But really, guys, has the linebacker core improved at all from last year's starting linebackers, Mike?
Yeah. They're about the same.
Yeah.
Your outsides are the same. Inside you changed one, but you replaced Landon Roberts with Malik Harrison, your big hitter coming in on rundowns. and Peyton Wilson was more in there every down than he was. Yeah, I think they're the same.
Derpy, what do you think about this linebacking core? And again, it's only one guy. You're just switching out switching out Roberts for Wilson.
Yeah.
But last year's 4 starting linebackers, Derpy, do you feel we're better off, worse, or the same as last year? Again, you got to keep in mind TJ Watt. I mean, if he pulls in the big 40+ million, he better have a big season. Derpy, we better, worse, or same as last year on opening day?
I feel like we're the same, but we're more talented and younger than last year.
Finch?
Yeah, Derpy's right. We do have more talent. The ceiling is high. We could end up being better, but right now it's I'd say a push to just slightly better right now.
Just 2 comments real quick off the board. John says, I'm flying to Pittsburgh with my Louisville Slugger. Send me Derpy's address. I want that smoke detector out of commission.
He doesn't even live in this state.
No, he's going to come all the way from out west. And also, I do want to say this as well. RB says Holcomb coming back is much better than Roberts. What's the one ability, though, that Roberts had? Availability.
And that's the question is, can we stay healthy? This team?
And that's a big question for Cole Holcomb, who hasn't been able to stay healthy at all since he's come over about 2 or 3 seasons ago. I like the land. And listen, he wasn't a big playmaker, but for what that hammer right in the middle of the field, he was in all
the
tackles.
Experience, right?
Yeah, yes, he was.
He had the Super Bowl. He was a Super Bowl champion too.
Exactly. And then also RB does say change that damn alarm, Derpy.
Dude, Derpy, is it like more frequent? Do you have 2 alarms beeping now?
No,
because it sure sounds
I just have a better quality mic, I guess.
I don't know.
I don't understand the quality of the mic making it the beep more often.
I know how Derpy affords his Florida vacation every year. He doesn't buy 9-volt batteries all year.
Yeah, that $14 a year is really going to kill you. And that's if you buy the good ones. You can go buy the cheapy ones for half that.
Malik Harrison, that's a name that I'm kind of up in the air with, Tortilla. Malik Harrison, somebody we brought in, also a linebacker from Baltimore. My opinion about Baltimore players, you really have to wonder what's going on. I would think at all costs you would try to keep players from going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, vice versa, in which the 2 organizations have done very well for the last 30 years. Of course, Patrick Queen. There's been players here and there that ended up on each other's squad, but Malik Harrison, I'm not real sure, guys. I've never seen Baltimore love him. I've never seen Baltimore fight to try to keep him. So again, I don't know what we're getting with Malik Harrison. Anybody, Malik Harrison?
Solid run stuffer. He's a situational back.
Right.
Yeah, that's about it. He's, you're probably going to get like 40, 50 tackles out of him a year. And, he's your number 3, number 4 inside backer. He's not a starter. He's just going to.
Mike, does Mark Robinson make this team again?
No, not even on special teams.
All right. Guys, let's drop down to the defensive line. I think Cam Hayward had a breakout season last year. I was on his ass for the 2-3 years prior. I thought that Clam wasn't getting in many plays. I thought maybe he was falling on tackles instead of making tackles. He comes out last year and plays very well. And now everyone's saying that he's one of the best, which I have a list here that says he isn't. I have the 10 best defensive tackles that just officially came out, and he landed at number 10, which certainly isn't number 1. But here we go. This defensive line, guys, Keanu Benton, he's going to have to step it up. Cam's going to have to continue to step up like he did last year. And we got to have a big year out of the rookie. I think the defensive line, guys, there's some nice names here. But when all's said and done, and it comes down to it, in the rubber hits the road, the tire hits the road, these 3 guys have to perform out of their mind. And again, we haven't seen it from Keanu Benton.
Yeah.
Cam isn't exactly young. He's a big guy. It's hard for guys that big who get older to continue to do what it is that they've done well. This defensive line for me, and I haven't heard a lot of people say it. I hear a lot of people saying this is one of the better defensive lines. This is one of my question marks, is the defensive line, because all 3 of these guys have to play out of their minds to become that defense that people are giving them the title of.
Yeah, for me, for Cam, I just hope last year wasn't his last hurrah. Because the way he's talking this offseason, it's not. So, okay, let's keep the talk up, Cam, and show it on the field. Keep that old man strength going. For me, with Benton, it's like the coach has said, he's getting there. He just has to finish the play in the backfield. And, he can't.
And I liked him early, Mike. You know I liked him out the gate, but he just never turned into that player I thought he was going to.
Mike disconnected, I think.
Oh, Mike, you lost your voice. I like when Mike loses his voice. He doesn't listen to you. He just continues to talk.
I think he probably lost a wireless. Yeah, he might be using a wireless headset.
I don't know.
Mike, can't
your headset.
And then he talks to us like we could still hear him whenever we can't hear him.
All right, I think you figured it out.
Yeah, we cannot hear you, Mike. I don't want to.
So anyway,
good.
Can I make a point about Cam?
Yeah.
I think the Steelers are going to play it smart with Cam this year. They recognize that he did have a very good year last year, and as long as he has a good camp and everything, which I haven't heard anything saying that he's been bad or anything in the OTAs and all the stuff, the little mini camps. I think the Steelers are going to play it smart and play him less. We have a very deep D line right now. I'm seeing some comments about that, and Barley says that even if Cam falls off, this is the deepest D line we've had in years. I agree. You might see Cam rotate out a little more often to keep him a little fresher later in the game and then later in the season. Ultimately, so
is it fair, Finch? Is it fair for when Cam is on the sideline in the third and fourth quarter and the game's on the line? Is it fair for him to be taking the comments? Why is Cam Hayward on the sideline when the game is on the line? I mean, you hear it all the time. This is your big guy. This is your big money defensive lineman.
I agree, and I think a lot of that comes down to, he isn't as conditioned as he used to be because he's north of 30.
Right.
And he just can't do it at the end of the game because I think we were maybe using him a little too much earlier in the game. And that's what I'm saying. The Steelers need to be smart and understand that, and maybe we'll see a little less of him, a little less of TJ earlier in games to keep him a little fresher in the fourth quarter. Because let's face it, this team plays a close game almost every game.
Yeah, right.
And, it takes one bad defensive play to lose a game. And I think that's what it's going to be. So when you see a little less of Cam on the field this year earlier in the games, and probably a little less overall, hopefully his time on the field will be better spent.
Yeah, and if the offense can control the ball more, that's less time.
That's a huge part of it too.
TJ. Yeah. And back to the better depth that we have now, we can keep rotating these guys in and out.
Right, exactly.
And we're only playing base 25% of the time, so all three of them are going to be out there. Not a whole hell of a lot, so they should be fresh. And don't forget, we got Waya Black, who we just drafted, brought in Daniel Ugale, who he had a nice little season up there in New England. So we got people right there, and Harmon, the rookie too. So there's better depth this year, and rotate those guys in and out.
Mike, let me ask you this about Derek Harmon. A lot of excitement about him, a lot of anticipation. But you look at Derek Harmon, our new starting tackle.
Oh, I'm sorry.
When you talk about the top defensive tackles in the league, your Sexy Dexies, your Jalen Carters, all these guys that are up there.
Yeah.
Where does Derek Harmon come? Because these are the guys that wreck the game.
Yeah.
Where is Derek Harmon fall between them and everybody? What kind of production are we going to get from this new first draft pick?
Like, hopefully that Jalen Carter game record type production, because in college he had the most pressures out of every interior defensive lineman in the NCAA. He was in the backfield disrupting plays over and over and over again. Now, hopefully he can do that here. It's going to be harder in the way we run defenses than those teams do, but he's got to be at least a fringe of what they're doing, like just on the cusp of coming close to them by the end of the year. I don't think he's going to be that guy that's going to come in right away and do it. I think he's going to be a guy that's going to come right away, and you can notice his presence. But then as he plays more and more, starts to learn the nuances of the game at the pro level, then that second half of the season, you're going to see him just wrecking linemen, because the way he was doing it in college, dude was a beast.
Fatanu, Derek Harmon, our last two number one overall draft picks, both playing up in the great northwest of the country. I can't wait to watch both of these guys again, because Fatanu was out all last season. Again, Harmon coming in as a rookie. These two guys I'm very excited about, Mike. As we were saying 3 years ago, we knew Weedle and Kahn was going to start building this team from the inside out the way that the Eagles have. So let's hope that we start to see some of that, that solid interior line play that the Eagles have, and keeps them consistent in this league, and it keeps sending them back to the Super Bowl. Obviously, they have nice skill players. There's no secret about that. But we're going to start seeing this year, guys, what exactly the line is all about for these Pittsburgh Steelers. Let me jump to the last one real quick, guys. So we're 11 of 11. 11 starters last year on opening day are changed, or new guys, whether they came here, they were injured, whatever, from last year. One position left, guys. Cameron Johnston, statistically, one of the best punters ever in the NFL. Cameron Johnston, who was replaced by Corliss Waitman, who came in off the injury to Johnston, had a great season. I'm excited about the Cameron Johnston return because, again, if you are one of the best statistical punters in the history of the game, I can't wait to see this guy boot the hell out of the ball. And I hope that nobody takes Waitman because, again, if Johnston goes down, Waitman sure did a great job last year, Mike.
Oh, he was quietly the team MVP. He was the best player that we had. It was a great free agent pickup. But like you said, Cameron Johnson coming back, there's a reason the Steelers went out and signed him. Because we saw how bad it was Presley Harvin. And you get this cat, and he, like you said, he was one of the best. He's strong leg and accurate as well. I'm excited to watch him punt.
So they call it 24. There's 24 starters, 11, your punter, your place kicker, and your long snapper. So 12 out of 24 guys, Mike, opening day last year to this year are different. Finch, 10-3, 4 games left last year. With this being said, this conversation that we just had, I'm going to start with you, Finch, and I'm going to come back around. What kind of final record do you give the Steelers this season? Don't include playoffs. Don't include playoff runs. What do you see these guys finishing after week 18 out of their 17-game schedule? What do you feel that the Steelers are going to finish at this point?
I think they're going to finish better now than I thought they would originally at the end of the season last year. Okay. I like the moves we made for the most part, as we have discussed. I like that 11-6, 12-5, right in that ballpark. If this team plays the last 4 games last year, maybe we win 2 of them. You know what I mean? And that's enough. So I like that 12-5. I like that as kind of the ceiling for the Steelers.
Let me ask you this, guys. That Washington game that we won at the end of the game last year, where Mike Williams catches the ball in the end zone to win the game.
Fantastic.
Does this team win that game? Here's the thing. We can talk about the games that we fell short, but those games that we just barely won. You can even throw the Dallas loss in there. We lost at the end of the game on a touchdown pass from Dak. So, some of those other games, the games that we won at the very end, is this team better equipped to win those games outright opposed to the way they finished? Do you think that we advanced that far with the moves we made? Again, 12 out of 24 people will be starters this year that weren't last year in this team.
The Dallas game, yes, because the reason we lost that game is because our defense was very tired, and we couldn't keep up at the end of that game. And the way the team is built today, I think our offense could have stayed on a field a little bit earlier in the game and had fresher legs at the end and possibly prevent that. So I think the Dallas game is kind of like, this current team probably would have done better. But the point you made, do we win that game where Mike Williams makes a catch? I mean, probably. I mean, we're pretty equal in talent right now with the wide receiver core, as we had said earlier, maybe even slightly better. Somebody probably makes that catch. It comes down to just a good throw and a good play at the end of the day.
All right, guys. So does anybody feel, let me ask you this. Before you started the show today, you had an opinion of the Steeler team. Does anybody feel any different, for the better, for the worse, or do you feel basically the same as you did before we had this conversation? Again, 12 of 24 people that are considered starters are different this year than they were last year. After this conversation, Mike, you feel better, worse, or the same that you felt about this team?
The same. 11-6, 12-5. I'm still in that range.
All right. Darby, let me come to you on this. Do you feel after this conversation any worse, better, or the same about this team?
I feel better.
Okay. Finch?
Yeah, a little bit better now than I did even this morning.
All right.
You guys have really informed me. You've done great work here today. Great work, Jeff.
Yes.
All right, good. And that's you know what? I feel the same way, guys. I'm feeling good about this season. I don't feel bad about this season. That's the thing. I don't feel bad. I'm excited about the moves and the changes. So,
isn't that why we do this? So we can have these chats about
Absolutely.
our team and the things that we love and the things that we don't love, and always feel better about ourselves and feel better about life in general. This is why we do this. This is why we are the Dum Yinzers.
Just a couple things here about the secondary, real quick before we do move on. Darius Slay, he has various knee issues through his career. That was what kept him off the field when he was missing time in Philadelphia. Knee issues, that's kind of a concern to me. Knees on a corner, never a good problem to have. And also, guys, the other secondary topic that I did want to ask you real quick, was there a falling out between Minkah Fitzpatrick? This is something that I'm reading just this morning under just general Pittsburgh news, Steelers news. Was there a falling out with Minkah before the move was made that spurred the team to make this move? Or do you think this was just an outright decision to say, because again, that's being asked. People were wondering, was there a fallout? Or was this a business decision and he wasn't performing? We're paying him too much money, blah, blah, blah. You know the story. Mike, was there a fallout, or was this just what it is?
It sounds like it was just a business decision. It was like, you're not going to be here next year, and if we can move you now to get 2 players to help the team this year, yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do a 2-for-1 swap.
Okay.
And hey, you saw that? You saw that liquor bottle collection? You know what's happening this weekend?
You saw that Scarlet? Come on. Let's see, guys. A couple more things here. I want to talk about the big comeback player. Somebody seen the name Marcus Wheaton go down on the board as we were talking. But, guys, Chase Claypool making his return to the NFL. He's ready to make his return.
Do we sign him?
Any confidence that this guy's going to do anything? The thing is, the guy has talent. He's not but he's just, there's something about him. He has something that doesn't allow him to be as great as he can, as really good as he can be. Do we see Chase Claypool doing anything of relevance in his comeback?
No. No,
absolutely.
This guy had so many chances. Like you go down to Miami, where they got Tyreek Hill and Waddle and Tua throwing you the ball in that wide open offense, and you can't make it work. You can't make it work anywhere.
And in his defense, Miami just isn't any good. This team
never.
I think that they
suck, but they put up numbers in that offense, and he couldn't put up diddly too.
I mean, they're constantly one of the worst teams in the AFC. No two ways about it. And no matter who they get, again, all these skill players that you just named, I would like to have half of them. So, but again, Chase,
32-year-old Tyreek Hill.
What's that, Derby?
Let's get a 32-year-old Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I'm just never impressed by Miami. Miami's never done anything in my life. Nothing. Guys, let's see. I just want to make sure I don't have any more topics before we do jump into the board, because we have some catching up to do here. One more question I do have, Mike, about the possible. Again, this name came to me out of nowhere because of his numbers. He only played a freshman season in college, but Lenore Sellers from South Carolina is the topic. A lot of people were already anticipating that he's going to be the pick by the Steelers next year. The guy didn't have it. I mean, he had a good season. He went about 8-4, I think, for South Carolina last year as their starter as a freshman. He played well, but is this, again, Mike, how confident? Because a lot of people that are talking about it are feeling pretty confident about this. The Steelers are going to go after Lenore Sellers. Why are we so bought into the guy at this point?
You saw what he did as a freshman in the SEC, starting on a South Carolina team that's, not traditionally a good team. And he has those traits that you want to see in a modern day quarterback. He can throw
69.8 quarterback rating, about 2,500 yards. I don't see anything amazing here.
If you just want to read off a statue, you got to watch him.
Well, that's all I have to go off of.
Watch him play, and you'll
I have
see
one season of stats
as
as his freshman season, and that's all I'm going on, because I don't have a video up right now, so I'm just going by what I have here. And what I have is a freshman quarterback who went 8-4. All right, okay, won 8 games. But again, Mike, the other numbers: 69.8 quarterback rating, 2,500 yards, 18-7. I mean, that's a fairly average number in college. If you're a good quarterback, I mean, you should at least have 18-7. He threw about 100 more passes than was completed, 65% completion percentage. So again, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying this guy's not good. I personally don't know enough about him yet. He's a 19-year-old kid, but why are we so sold?
I've heard of him.
And that's what I'm saying. And you're not the only one, but the people that are saying that we're going to get him, they're pretty confident. I mean, go into your Steelers news right now online, and there's a lot of people saying the Steelers were more than likely going to take Sellers. All I'm trying to figure out is why. What's the love factor here?
The film on there, you can see the potential. It's that potential factor, and that's what you see in every college prospect. Is you're playing this well at this age. Okay, what are you going to do 2 years from now, next year from now? What are you
but Mike, when we were talking about the other guy that hasn't played it down yet, people were giving a shit. Arch Manning, he hasn't played it down. How can you even consider the potential? Right? Isn't it the same argument?
Well, at least with him, we're actually seeing him play game in, game out. Arch is playing situational
again.
football.
We're going to take a look at him this year.
We're going to come in and see him as a starter this year.
I mean, they lose to Illinois. They lose. I mean, they lost to some good teams. No two ways about it. But again, I don't see the love. I don't get it yet. I'll watch the film. I'll watch it today. We'll talk about it more tomorrow. But again, I don't know if there's enough for me to go by here. He played a season, so to be sold on a guy, you might as well say we're going to get Arch Manning.
Well, Larry Manning down at South Carolina, I had a really good freshman year. He shows all this potential. Oh, his last name's Manning. Well, yes. Let's go get him.
Yes, exactly.
But his last name's Sellers. Oh, no.
Sellers' dad might have been a garbage man, and Peyton Manning's uncles might have been all Hall of Famers in the NFL. I want the guy who has a Hall of Famer uncle.
You know,
right? I don't want the guy whose dad was a garbage man.
Randy Moss is arguably the greatest receiver of all time, and where's his kid?
Wait, who?
Randy Moss is arguably the greatest wide receiver of all time, and his kid couldn't make it into the NFL.
Well, that's his kid. I'm not talking. I'm talking about real winners that are. Dude, come on. And don't get me wrong, Randy Moss is one of the best, but I mean the Mannings. These people are they're just students of the game, and you gotta look at the. Again, we're both speculative arguments. I have to see more on this guy. I would take the other guy with the Manning name before this, but again, I'll watch the film. I'll see what Manning does this year. We will talk as it goes on, but I just don't know the love interest that we're having, guys, with this the Sellers at this point. I don't see it. People are locking in on it. I have to see more from this guy, to be honest. Let's move forward here. You know what? As a matter of fact, let's catch up on some messages. I don't know if we're going to be able to catch them all.
There's so many good ones. I've been reading them, and like every time a good one comes up, I want to say something, but you guys are chatting, and there's some great ones. Let's get them.
Let's get back in the ballpark here. As long as we can get in the ballpark, we can nail some. All right, I'm going to start here with RB. RB all the way back at 12:10 says Johnson has 5 times the vision of Najee. Vision is key to outside zone. I think that I'm going to like Caleb Johnson a lot. Speaking of Caleb, Mike, we haven't seen Caleb, the moderator, ever since the Indiana Pacers got knocked out of the finals.
We have not.
I hope he's okay. Let's see. Right
what
here.
A harsh final that was, too, man. Ooh.
Yeah, I was pulling for him.
It was good basketball. It was like awesome.
Let's see. Tortilla, he can't fit between the O-line, and he isn't fast enough to run around. So, yeah, okay. Okay, we're still talking about the running backs there, of course. Yeah, so bear with me, guys, as I'm trying to read the comments. Mike Finch, try to recognize where we were in that conversation. I don't want to be that far off. Let's jump in right here. John says, I have the Army. What have you done lately mentality regarding Tomlin? He would have been replaced in my old world. You know what? That's a lot of places out there. I mean, I've seen this in the job world, and sometimes you just lose it. I don't know. Some may argue he never had it, but again, we win a lot of football games, so it's always going to be debatable. Let's see, Mike. How about you go a little bit ahead and you kind of eyeball some good comments as I get there. That way we could.
All right.
Because if I'm doing it on my own, this is going to take forever. Let's see. RB says Najee was a bottom steering 5 halfback in the NFL. His availability was his best attribute. His amount of touches in a pass heavy halfback rotation league bloated his stats to look better than they actually were. Yeah, and I agree. But again, at the end of the day, 1,000 yards for 4 straight seasons and all 4 of your seasons is something. And I'm not saying it's the best. I'm not saying it's a standard to go by, but it's something. Not every running back gets 1,000 yards in their first 4 seasons.
Yeah, he was consistent. He was available, which is the best availability or best ability, and he was secure with the football.
These are all good things.
Like I'm not a big Najee fan. I had high hopes for him. He didn't live up to him, but you know he wasn't going to fumble the ball, and you know he was at least going to run into line and fall forward.
All right,
worst case scenario.
And he's had decent lines in front of him too. You got to give some credit there. He's had decent O lines in front of him.
Who's
never
that?
Great, but never bad. Najee.
I mean, put him behind Philadelphia's line.
He does great. Yeah.
Exactly. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Tortilla, I mean, no other running back has 4 years, 1,000 yards rushing a season right now. That's right. Najee's the only one.
It's commendable.
So, for a guy that stays healthy and holds onto the ball and is the only running back that has 4, come on. He definitely would be great behind a good O-line, but most running backs are, so whatever. Let's see. Yinzer Joseph's DK will be more consistent and reliable, plus won't quit on routes. DK has 1,100 yards, while GP had 900. Tortilla says number 11 is a cursed Steeler number.
It is.
Who else? I'm having a hard time thinking.
In the comments, I forget who said it, but it was Marcus Wheaton was the best Steeler player to ever wear number 11.
Oh, wow.
Claypool.
Yeah. Claypool, I think.
Did Boy wear that?
Wasn't Kent Graham number 11?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
No, wait. Yeah, he was.
17. Wasn't Kent
I don't know. Look
17?
that up real quick. I think he was 11. I could be wrong. I could definitely be wrong.
I'll look it up real quick.
RB says Smith needs to watch how McDaniel uses Hill.
Yes.
And try that kind of stuff with Austin. Drag, slant, screens, use more outs to get him space. That's where the many tight ends help. Bunch with Austin.
Yeah, if you can get him the ball in space, oh my God, let him use his quickness instead of his dead ahead speed on the deep flies. Oh God, my nipples are hard now.
Also says Robert Woods has been the highest rated blocking wide receiver in 4 different seasons. Well, we don't respect that in Pittsburgh, apparently. There's a lot of people saying that Hines Ward don't deserve to be a Hall of Famer. All he did was block. I think it's one of the greatest attributes from a wide receiver because it's something above and beyond. And if you're the best at doing it, maybe that will benefit us with Robert Woods. We will see. Yinzer Joe says Calvin is going to have to work hard and be consistent because Roman Wilson is on his heels. Guys, Roman Wilson's a name that we didn't bring up today. He could certainly be an X factor in this whole thing. If this guy comes out and plays out of his mind and even has an above average season as basically his rookie year, I think that goes so far for what this team can do because, again, we're still trying to figure out one more position in the wide receiver room. So if these guys play above their potential, that only could help, right?
Yeah, and if, Wilson can wrestle the number 2 spot away and be like, hey, I'm going to be your dependable, route runner on the outside. Get me the ball in hand. I'm going to move the sticks. And that's all we need right there. Someone who's going to be where they're supposed to be at the right time.
Kenneth says this, Mike. He says, I'm more worried about Fatanu staying healthy than Jones.
Yeah.
Does that mean just more concerned about Fatanu staying healthy than Jones's ability? Or
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's because if Fatanu goes down, we're fucking screwed. If Jones, has an up and down season, you can work around that. There's ways to slide protection to his way. Move a tight end over, move a running back, lined up on that set to help him out. But Fatanu goes down, you're screwed.
All right, let's jump up. Some questions back and forth between the guys on the board. Let me just go right past that here. Let's see. Right here, Tortilla says unless Tomlin steps down, I just don't see him leaving, at least before his contract is up. Remember, Tomlin took over after a year or two into Ben's career. Same thing could happen again. Vegas, I agree. Rub some dirt on and get back out there. I don't know. That's just I'm an older guy. That's just my mindset. But I get it. I get it. Finch's brain surgery. Let's go right here. We better hope Cole Holcomb doesn't get piss tested. Anyone seen him? He is jacked. You know what he is? And I mean, come on.
Hey, he can get piss tested after he plays his 3 games and gets hurt.
Right. Piss test him after. Let's see what else. Is Tomlin's replacement working in the NFL currently? Vegas
Probably.
asked. More than likely. But he's probably not born yet. By the time Tomlin decides to leave the Steelers, the new head coach is probably just being born. Here you go, Mike. John asks, will Tomlin take the handcuffs off of both sides of the ball? The issues are more than plugging in new players.
I can see it on the offense. If he trusts Aaron Rodgers the way he trusted Ben, yeah.
Yinzer Joseph, Steelers have never blown it up. They usually just shuffle pieces around, and the schedule is tough. But as hard as it is for the last year, they should come out with a winning record. I do. I think that they should come out better than they were last year. It seems to me that, as we said, of these 12 of the 24 starters from last year,
that's blowing it up for the Steelers.
They that if they finish 10-7 or less, I'm going to be disappointed. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of work they put in this offseason.
Yeah, and only really giving up a second-round pick to add anyone to this roster.
John says a winning record means nothing to him. I agree. I think it's time to move forward, guys. We had enough of the okay, not everybody could win all the time, blah, blah, blah. Why is Pittsburgh, blah, 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 or fans, blah, blah. It's time. It's time to win. Let's win. Come on. Mark Malone, Dante Kent might throw his hat in the ring too. Mike, Dante Kent, the name that we haven't brought up often.
Yeah, seventh
a lot of
round
speculation.
Pick,
yeah.
Him and a lot of people are high on the rookie free agent Castro as well, Sebastian Castro. But yeah, Dante Kent, he is that forgotten man in there. They were high on him when they drafted him.
Wait, did Mike just pull a Vince McMahon to Jim Cornette pronouns line?
Yes, I did, bud. Yes, I did, brother.
John, he nails it right here. He says the Steelers have the highest paid defense in the NFL. Shitting the bed in the regular season or playoffs should be a criminal offense, no excuses. I agree. This is where I'm at right now. Otherwise, what else? What else we got to do? We're going to wait 5 more years. Come on. We should expect more out of this team this year, especially from the work that's been done through the offseason. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that we could certainly feel better. I think we should feel better about this team.
Sorry, I was scrolling through the comments. This one right here from Vegas. I was thinking that it was his smoke detector. He changed all of his batteries last week.
He just spent $20 on novel batteries for nothing. Batteries ain't cheap anymore. Come on, it's crazy.
They're expensive.
Shit, that was great.
Let's see.
Clip of the day? Question mark.
Can the O control the ball and score points? You know what? They better, right, guys? I mean, we better see at least a significant increase in what this offense does this year. If not, what's the next step? Boy, Vegas says better for sure. Ramsey at the slot cornerback is way better than Beanie and Smith. Makes the tight end room really good and gives Hayward less snaps on O, which is a good thing. Is Connor Hayward going to be on this team?
Fuck no.
He has literally no role in this team if you think about it. Yinzer Joe says Derpy has time to buy batteries, or he has time to buy a better mic, but not batteries for his detector.
Hey, get the fuck out of here, Derpy. That nonsense.
That's like on Family Guy. Whenever Brian owed Stewie
torture you. Remember?
Where's my money?
Where's my money, man?
Where's my money, man?
Where's my money? Oh, you have enough money to buy a glasses with a nose, but you don't have time. You don't have money to like. That's what I feel. This is what I feel with Derpy right now. Let's see. I'm telling you, our front 4 rotation is going to be serious. I hope you're right. They need to be. That front 4 has to be good, man. Let's come up a ways here. John says the Eagles have 8 front D linemen who all get a minute of 15 snaps each. A minimum of 15 snaps each. Sorry about that. A little bit here about the punters. Tortilla says his punting lead wasn't his injured leg either. He should come back strong. Vegas says I had no idea Bill Burr was a punter until last year. Bill Burr, a funny comedian, really funny actually. I like him a lot. And at this point, Mike, I'm just randomly I'm just stopping and reading.
Yeah,
they're really. I would love to.
We got some really good. Yeah,
I really would love to go. I mean, I'm reading them as I'm going.
Yeah,
and I feel terrible that I'm not getting to read them all. Let's see. Tortilla Minka didn't want to go to Malibu, so GM Rogers had to trade him to Miami.
Oh god, it's a newer comment. Where did it go? Here we go from Barley. No one mentioning Ben Skoranek. Rogers loves his big, under-average athletic white boys. He's throwing oops to him out in Malibu last week.
I saw that.
Like Skoranek's going to make the team regardless. He's a great special teamer, and hey, if he could move the chains every once in a while on third down, if that's Rogers' will be this year, I'll take it.
Here's one, Mike, that I didn't see. RB also says guys on the team felt Minka was lazy and checked out. I heard it from a source. That's interesting. I didn't hear it, but again, there's been speculation this morning, Mike. If you go and just type Steelers news, a couple stories were there a fallout with Minka and the Steelers. So.
Well, there's speculation last year about the lack of communication and communication breakdown. Everyone was thinking it was Cam Sutton, but you go and watch the film, there's times where Minka had the option to cover two guys to where, Sutton had to pick up whoever he didn't pick up, and Minka didn't cover anyone. And then Sutton sitting there stuck in no man's land trying to cover two guys at once. And people are saying, oh, that was Cam Sutton messing up. Like, no, it's basic football. Your safety's got to, who's closer to the line's got to make a choice. Then the back end can swoop up on the other. So I think a lot of breakdowns was Minka. And Minka did have the boo-boo face a lot last year, too. But I still think it was a business decision. They would have ran with him this year if they needed. But, you get an opportunity to get, upgrade your defense and upgrade your offense for Minka Fitzpatrick, you're going to do it.
Tortilla says, ask Claypool if he wants to be a Dum Yinzer. You know what's funny about that?
I would fucking love that.
I literally just told Mike to throw away any emails that comes in from Chase Claypool if he wants to be the new Dum Yinzer.
They're being forwarded directly to me.
I'll
never forget that 7-game stretch.
Pittsburgh. Let's see what else we got here. Mike, Cordell be a first-round pick these days.
That's funny because I made a post this morning on my Facebook because I saw a video about Cordell, and I said, you know what? In today's NFL, he would be a top dog. They would design plays for him, design whole offenses around him. He was ahead of his time. Cordell was a really good player in an NFL.
He's a 2020s quarterback in the 1990s.
He was ahead of his time. He was great. Yeah. He was a true triple threat. Like, he could run the ball, he could pass the ball, and he could catch the ball.
Yeah.
They would have schemed ways on offense to limit his turnovers and
his talent and ability in today's NFL. In today's NFL, with the rules that are in place now to protect passers, he would be up there. It's a shame that he got such a bad rap in Pittsburgh.
Slated play 14 games in a playoff game for the Eagles last year. Joe tells us that. Corey, if he's not a quarterback, we would move up to get. Let me see. If he's not a quarterback, we would move up to get to the top 10 then don't draft him. We got all the draft capital for a reason. Tortilla follows that up. All the other Mannings won Super Bowls. I'd be lying if I'd say that wasn't a reason to go get him. I mean, your uncle's got 4 Super Bowl trophies. Again, for me, that's okay. For other people, maybe not, but I would like to have a Manning play quarterback here in Pittsburgh. I have no reason not to. There's never been a reason for me not to. RB says, let's not pretend bad teams won't put Manning higher than he should be because of this. Oh, absolutely. He's going to sell.
Absolutely.
This he's a golden goose. I don't know if he's going to be a Caitlin Clark, but again, if you treat this guy bad, you're stupid. Take this guy and run with it and make your money because he's going to make you money. He's a Manning. John says, no throwing to the middle, run, pass. No throwing to the middle, run, pass, run with the same schemes. No blitzing and DBs playing 15 yards off the ball. The other teams know the Steelers' same old shit game plan. And you're right; those things got to change. They got to figure out what the hell they're going to do. RB Manning is going over 1 overall. Sellers isn't. I agree. What else? Mark Malone says the Roman and Caleb Johnson are going to be huge this season. I tell you what, if they both have good seasons, we're going to be very happy.
Oh, hell yeah.
We're going to be smiling. We're going to be definitely smiling.
Smiling like butcher's dogs, boys.
Joe says Harris did well running and getting the tough yards, but he only got those yards because the Steelers could only run. There weren't a lot of big bad. I mean, again, it was kind of a picket fence too. People were going with that, saying that we had this great offensive line. I thought the offensive line overachieved for what we had last year. But again, we were riddled with injuries. This wasn't even half the, I mean, again, a good debate. That's a good debate. And let me get, okay, we're up here at the top, guys. Mark Malone, well, the NFL has regressed into college offensive schemes. And Vegas says UNLV great. Randall Cunningham was a triple threat too. He could pass, run, punt. You know what? Those was another thing, Finchy. You did fail to mention Cordell Stewart.
He had kicked a few, yeah.
He kicked some balls as well.
Yeah, yes,
you remember when he was Slash? And don't get me wrong, Randall Cunningham was one of my favorite growing up.
Excellent. Love Randall Cunningham.
Number 12, Philadelphia. Loved him. He went to Minnesota, of course, as part of that.
I loved him when he was in Minnesota, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Should have went to the Super Bowl that year. Atlanta.
Gary Anderson.
But Cordell Stewart, guys, I mean, the position he played, where he was literally in that rookie season catching touchdown passes that were winning games, running the ball, throwing the ball, 80-yard touchdown runs against Carolina, punting the ball. Again, he was a 2020s running quarterback. I'm sorry, in the 1990s.
Ahead of his
love
time.
to have a Cordell Stewart now. Yeah,
ahead of his time, man. Love that guy. He was one of my favorites growing up, and I caught a lot of flack from my friends for it because he had such a bad rap in Pittsburgh.
Right.
But hey, man,
if he would quit wearing the pink sweaters for his interviews, I think his rep wouldn't have been.
And maybe get rid of that face that's on his face. Yeah, but as straight up, just as a player, I had to respect him. He had some really great seasons in Pittsburgh, and he had a good team around him. They should have won. They should have won more than they did. They should have got a title or two in there, or at least a championship, AFC championship. The Steelers had a dominant team in the late 90s.
Mind you guys, this year as the Super Bowl ends, it'll be 30 years since that rookie season and Cordell Stewart and the Steelers lost the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. This year at the Super Bowl, 30 years from that, Mike. And also,
half of all the Super Bowls have been played since that Super Bowl.
Half of all the Super Bowls. And Gerpy, here's one for you. Not only 30 years since that Super Bowl, 20 years this Super Bowl since Jerome Bettis retired. You feeling old yet, guys?
I'm feeling pretty old right there. I'm feeling pretty old on that.
This Super Bowl will be 20 years since the bus hung it up.
Yep.
Damn.
Wow. My favorite player of all time. I love the bus, man.
Vegas, you nailed that on the head. Slashing to get the ball more than 4 times in the Super Bowl. Early in the first, I think it was 13-7 at halftime. The only touchdown was a Yancey Thigpen touchdown catch. I would have loved to see Cordell be more involved in that offense. I don't think Dallas would have been quite prepared because they just weren't built. They were a really good defense. They just weren't built to play that kind of guy yet. If we would have been a little smarter and used Cordell right, we might have been able to do something else in that Super Bowl. It's hard to say. Also, Vegas does say Gary Anderson missed 1 field goal all year.
Yep.
In that Vikings 15-1 season.
He was like 39 for 40 on the season or something like that.
They jinxed him too. They said, "Oh, he hasn't missed a kick all year."
And at that point, he hadn't missed a kick he made a whole bunch to end the previous season.
Yeah.
He had a record of consecutive made kicks. And
guys, let me ask you this: does Minnesota beat the Denver Broncos? Did they stop Denver from winning their second of the back?
They would have had a better shot at it than who was it? Atlanta, right? That they lost to the Falcons. Who I like
Randy Moss,
the Dirty Birds,
rookie.
Yeah,
Chris
Jamal
Carter.
Anderson.
The Atlanta team. Come on,
I like that
Chris
team.
Chandler, Jamal Anderson, Andre Rison.
I think Minnesota would have won.
Yeah, Minnesota had a better team, I think, and would have competed better against Denver. But you got to admit, the Broncos were stellar. They were really great.
And Corey says, always saying about quarterback was don't settle for a quarterback at 20 to 22 overall when we have the draft capital to move up and get someone with a better pedigree. It doesn't make sense. I agree. And again, I want to apologize if I missed anybody on the board. It wasn't on purpose. I didn't pick anybody over you.
I was
just trying to. Yeah,
I a lot.
After I got about 3/4 of the way, I was just stopping and picking at that point. But amazing comments on the board today by everybody. Thank you. Also, a couple other things before we do roll, Mike. The game between USA and Mexico, the big soccer game the other day that you were talking about on the show yesterday, they did manage 3.73 million viewers. 3.73.
Why did you bring that up, Brian?
I mean, you think it's just in a time, and I don't want to get into it, but just in the time with all the political things going on in the world, this game should have got big ratings because people from countries that are involved in things, want to see how that played out. So good for them. 3.73 million viewers for the big USA-Mexico game.
Right. And 3.3 of them were Mexican.
Probably.
Very few born and bred Americans watching the game. Let's be honest.
Let's wrap this up with the Buccos, guys. Pirates lose game 1 of 3 against the Royals last night. They lose 9-3. They fall to 38-54. They'll be back at it tonight, where they play game 2 of 3 against Kansas City. This game is at 7:40 tonight on the hill for the Pirates. It's Mitch Keller comes in with a 3-10 record and 3.64 ERA and 84 strikeouts on the season. He'll be facing off against Seth Lugo, who is 6-5 on the season, has a 2.65 and 83 strikeouts on the season. Pirates 17 games out of first place. They were looking really good for about 6 days while we were on vacation. Apparently we have to be on vacation for the Pirates to play well, and that's how it played out.
Keller might be moved.
You know what? We did talk about that yesterday. I think the Pirates are stupid if they move him. I would normally be like sell, but either go back, check it out, or I will talk to you more. But I think we don't move Keller in a bizarre don't sell kind of season where we're 17 games out. I think that you can't keep dismantling. You have to at some point build cohesiveness with any team, and it has
a core to build around. And we have the pitching.
And you have the top
core. Yeah,
you have the top a top pitching rotation. Bring back Jared Jones. You have a top rotation in the league. You don't get rid of that. I think
we've given up the least runs in the MLB this year so far, and somehow 17 games out of first is absolutely astonishing.
Yeah. So again, I always say you need pitching. You need pitching. You need pitching. You have 3 number 1 starters. You don't get rid of them. You move everybody else. Don't touch them guys.
Can I mention something?
Yeah, for sure.
Shout out to Luis Ortiz. If you've seen that story.
Is that your uncle?
No. He was a former Pirates pitcher, but now he's for our, and he basically got in trouble for gambling.
Oh, yeah.
And then we had to relieve him. I don't know if you've seen that.
Why are we shouting him out?
Because it's Derpy's uncle.
Because I thought it was funny because he was a Pirates pitcher.
All right. Fair enough. Finch, let me ask you this. Derpy as well. Does Paul Skeens, does he start his second year in a row in the All-Star game? Does he get the start this year?
Probably not.
Okay. Derpy?
Probably not.
Probably not, because I think there's better pitchers out there.
I don't
know about that.
Yeah.
Record-wise, yes, but that's because.
But it's about selling the game to get people to watch, and people do like Skeens, and he was a great guy to start the game last year, but they don't want the same guy starting every single year. And the Pirates are such poop this year that they don't expect.
Shout out ever.
Yeah, right.
He was a former Pirate.
Come on. All right.
Anyway, yeah. Derpy, you're wrong.
I mean, his numbers show. The record doesn't, but that certainly isn't because of him. I mean, the guy shuts out every sport. The guy shut out every single game he pitches, and we still lose all those games. It's insane. It's the Pirates. We get it.
We are an anomaly.
A few other things before we do start to get ready to wrap things up, guys. Today is Jack Lambert. Jack Lambert's birthday. Of course, the Pittsburgh Steelers, great linebacker. Do want to say happy birthday. Shout out to Jack Lambert. Also, it is the birthday of this day. It was the day the Steelers were founded in 1933, guys. Just eight years away from 100 years. Mike, Derpy, Finch. This day, 1933, the Steelers were founded.
Through gambling when he's betting on the ponies, boys.
What's that?
It's true.
The Chief, man, he got his winnings through gambling, baby.
I thought you were going back to Derpy's gambling conversation.
I'm glad I had to step away for a minute. I come back and I just see Vegas go, worst shout out ever. I'm like, Derpy was talking. That's right, brother.
Mike, why don't you tell us something? Tell us a little bit about this website, man.
Oh, we got the 2 Dum Yinzers there, brother. Check it out at the2dumyinzers.com. We got all of our social media over there. We got the Dumb Thoughts over there. We got the merch store over there, where you can listen.
Oh, that's sweet.
Listen.
Check it out at the2dumyinzers.com.
Go check it out, everybody. www.the2dumyinzers.com. That's www.
I'm going to have a photo shoot over there with my new
the2dumyinzers.com. Mike does a lot of work. Go check everything out. Guys, let's get into the trivia question of the day. Mike, Derpy, Finch, put your thinking caps on. Everybody on the board, here we go. Question of the day. Question of the day about our new quarterback. Here we go. How many losing seasons has Aaron Rodgers had in his career? Now, let me break this down to you. Even if it was an injury-shortened season where he went 2-3, yes, that is a losing season. So a season in his 20 years, how many times have Aaron Rodgers finished with less wins than losses? Guys, question of the day, how many losing seasons has Aaron Rodgers had in his career? Think that over. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day right here on YouTube. All right, guys, question of the day. How many losing seasons? Aaron Rodgers played 20 seasons. This is 21 coming up. How many losing seasons has Aaron Rodgers had in his career? Derpy, I'm going to start with you. Tortilla saying 7 on the board. Derpy, I'm going to start with you. How many losing seasons do you feel that Aaron Rodgers had since being in the league?
3.
3? All right. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
All right, locking Derpy in on the 3. Finch, going to come to you next. Finch, how many losing seasons do you think that Aaron Rodgers had? Vegas on the board is saying 4. Tortilla said 7. Derpy says 3. Finch, what do you think?
I also say 3. That was my number, and then Derpy ruined it by saying it.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
And he sounded so confident that I'm almost positive he's looked it up. So I'm going to go with 3.
All right. Now, John, he's also throwing his guess up there. He says 4. So I got 2 4s on the board. I have a 7 on the board. I have 2 3s here in studio. Mike, comes to you. How many losing seasons has Aaron Rodgers had in his career?
Oh, it's about what I'm about to drink here, boys. A 6er.
6?
6er. He had a 6-pack like I'm about to have a 6-pack for lunch.
All right. So this is your final answer.
Final answer.
Abs?
All right. So Mike says 6. I got Mike locked in. My other 2 fellas both say 3 on the board. I have 2 4s and a 7. Guys, question of the day: How many losing seasons has Aaron Rodgers had in his career? Again, it doesn't matter by shortened seasons. It doesn't matter by injury shortened seasons. None of them matters. 20 years. How many of them were less wins than losses? Tortilla has algebra up here. I'm trying to just glance at 4 plus 3 equals 7. Okay, so he's going with the 7. Make me do math. The answer, gentlemen, ladies, anybody, how many losing seasons had Aaron Rodgers had in his career? Ian's guys went all around the correct answer, which was 5.
It's 5. Yeah.
I got 3s, 4s, 6s, 7s, everything except for 5 guys. 5 times in his career, Aaron Rodgers does have less wins than losses in the season. But you know what? Everybody was in the ballpark. Great job, guys. That was the question of the day. Guys, I do want to say, do you have what it takes to be a new Dum Yinzer? That's right. This time next week, Wednesday will be the official start of the competition. So if you want to throw your name in the hat, if you want to be on this screen to hold the heavy weight that is Bulk Hogan, then you too, you have the opportunity to make this dream happen, guys. Just by entering your name right here on the screen, you see Finch is holding it up. TWODUMYINZERS at Gmail. Guys, that is where it's going. You can also go to our website and have the link from the email. From the email right there. So if I confused you yesterday by sending you to the website, you could also find it there. But guys, go right here to Dum Yinzers. That's TWO Dum Yinzers at Gmail. Send in your just all you got to do is just drop your name. You don't have to say anything else. We have your information beyond that. We'll get back to you. But 1 week from tomorrow, the competition will officially start, guys. If you want to be involved, there will be a gauntlet. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you have a lot of time, we're looking to grow, and you want to try to throw your hat in to be the new Dum Yinzer, do just that, guys. In the meantime, we'll keep our eyes on the list, and we'll start to put that together, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun this time next week. So do drop your name. That's all you got to do is just go to your email, type in our email address, drop your name, and we will get back to you with further detail beyond that. Vegas says, "Did you take your vitamins on your vacation?" He did. Did I show you his vitamins? I did go through this earlier. If you missed it, I just want to say these are from Mike here at the studio. This isn't from his. This is another one here. Mike,
hydration is key.
Alcohol
these are all
will dry you out, Mike.
So Mike's vitamins. And I still have more that I can't reach. They're out of my reach, but there's about 11. I think 11 bottles here I was able to pull. John says, "How many fucks did I have about Rodgers before becoming a Steeler?" Exactly. I hated Aaron Rodgers. I didn't care much for him. He beat us in the Super Bowl. I had nothing nice to say about
Jinx
Aaron
of a
Rodgers.
Super Bowl.
What's that?
Jinx of a Super Bowl.
But at this point, I until he came here, no interest.
He hasn't done nothing since.
Why are you eating your mic, Derpy?
Because I'm mad.
Because I'm mad. I'm derping.
I hate everything.
Guys, Derpy, anything if we do start getting ready to wrap things up for today, brother?
Superman,
yeah.
Yeah, what's going on with that, man? New Superman?
I'm seeing Superman tonight. I got an early fan screening with Amazon Prime. I get to see it 3 days early.
Are you gonna put a react video on your channel, Derpy?
I'm thinking about it.
Do it, buddy. I'll watch it. Yeah.
Derpy, why don't you plug what's your channel so people could go over and check out? Because I know people like Superman. where should they go to find you talking about Superman?
Derpy Entertainment on YouTube.
Right.
And also Derpy _ Entertainment on Twitch.
All right, there you go. Go check Derpy out. He's going to be talking about the new Superman movie tonight. He's going to check out the premiere. Finch, anything from you, man? What do you got before we wrap things up for today, my man?
Oh, not a whole lot, man. I got a day off today. I'm back in town. I've been on vacation and doing a lot of family stuff the last few weeks. And the Gooners are getting back together this Friday. I talked to the boys. We were supposed to get together on the 4th, and then they I think they just had too much fun at a family party and didn't want to leave. So it happens. So yeah, we'll be back this weekend, and we got some things in store. We've been talking about some things about the show, so it's going to be a good time.
I got to be honest with you. I'm prepared. I'm ready to laugh. I'm ready for the Gooners to be back. I'd never not laugh while watching the show.
Oh, me same. We just crack up. My face usually hurts after doing an episode because we legitimately just exist to make each other laugh here when we get together. It's a good time.
I can't wait. Friday night, everybody, 9:30. We will talk about that more as the week goes on to remind and put some promotion up, guys. But don't forget the guys over on right here on Friday night at 9:30, the 3 Gooners. Check them guys out. Mike, what about you? Anything before we do get ready to wrap it up for the day, sir?
Bucko fans, O'Neill Cruz will be participating in the Home Run Derby.
All right.
Go.
I like that.
There you go.
I mean, the guy's a beast.
Come on, Vegas. I don't have a drinking problem. I got a stopping problem.
Guys, I do want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you so much. We appreciate everybody. We wouldn't do it without you. Also, I want to say thank you to everybody on the board. You guys always make things interesting here on the show. Many, over 100 today, comments on the board. Thank you. They were all great. Appreciate them all. Everybody at home, everybody listening. Maybe you're in the gym, maybe you're in the car, maybe you're at work, wherever you may be. Thank you as well. I do think that is everything that I got today, guys. Anybody else? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Beep.
Have a good day, everyone.
Have a good day.
All right, we will be back tomorrow at our regular time. Don't forget, in the meantime, if you do want to become the new Dum Yinzer, join the competition to do you have what it takes to be the new Dum Yinzer? You can see right there on the screen, right beneath Mike, and right on Finch's screen, Mike's
Vegas.
The email right there, 2dumyinzers, TWODUMYINZERS @gmail, and then also underneath Mike, all show long, you do see the address there as well. So drop your name in, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it, and certainly anticipating a fun competition. So,
Ryan, what Vegas said real quick.
Vegas, what did he say real quick? He says, you don't have a cocaine problem either. You just like how it smells. There you go.
Damn straight, brother.
Who the hell else would wear a skullet on their head at all times, unless you're on serious drugs? But there you go, everybody. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. Great show today, guys. Thank Finch.
Yes.
Thank Derpy. As I said, this all ultimately lead to for anybody that wants to participate in this competition as well. These guys are off doing their own shows, doing great things. The Gooners, Derpy Entertainment. Guys, it could lead to a lot of different things. We are growing, and it could also lead to many opportunities for you as well. We hope that you sign in, throw your name in the hat.
Set the switch to.
Just go right to the email address, throw your name in, baby. And we got about a week on that. So, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for Finch. Thank you to Derpy. Thank you to Mike, myself, the 2 Dum Yinzers. Everybody have a great day. We'll see you.